Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 66th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Wednesday the 15th of April 2026. And something I want to share with you today is, have you ever had that experience where you're, on the toilet and then you have to do a number two, but then you realize, oh crap, there's no toilet paper. Now, this did not happen to me today, but there's been a couple of times throughout the year when I'm at home, but then I realize, oh, there's no toilet paper, but I've already done my business, so I have to call another family member, like my mom or my brother, to you know, fetch me an extra roll of toilet paper. But fortunately, it's never happened to me in public, because whenever I go out in public to a public restroom, I always check if there's a sufficient amount of toilet paper before I proceed with my business. But sometimes, you're busting to go to the bathroom, like you cannot contain it anymore, and then you go, and then you suddenly realize, oh crap, no pun intended, there's no toilet paper. And what do you do in that instance? What do you do in that instance? It's not like you can call someone, or it's not like you can you know hear whoever's coming through the bathroom door and just say, oh yeah mate, can you just grab me an extra roll of toilet paper please? That's gonna be extremely embarrassing. So I feel like, you know, councils, or, whoever cleans bathrooms out in public. It could be, you know, a public restroom within a park, it could be within a private building. Whoever maintains and cleans that specific bathroom, there should be a system in place where you press a button, or you can get out an app or whatever, and you can just fill in the request for a roll of toilet paper or something like that. It should be 100% anonymous. I'm surprised they haven't done anything like that, at least to my knowledge, because I know bathrooms get maintained, cleaned out regularly, so obviously whenever they clean out a bathroom, they put in new toilet rolls. But, I feel like there have been close calls where I go in to do maybe a number one in the bathroom, but then I realize, oh yeah, there's no toilet paper. I'm like, all right, well, if I have to do number two, then I have to find another bathroom, or just hold it in until I get home. Um, and I guess one way to combat this issue is to bring around, I guess, wet wipes or toilet paper with you. But you're not going to be carrying around the backpack with a couple of rolls of toilet paper inside, or maybe one. But I feel like, in some instances, especially with, I guess, tourists or people who are unfamiliar with the local area, when they hunt down a bathroom, they're gonna rush inside, and they're not gonna know that there's not gonna be any toilet paper, because there have been some bathrooms, especially in public places like parks and whatever, where I swear have never, never, never have never, in my view at least, never had a roll of toilet paper. It's always dry, or they always give you the bare minimum. So yeah, I guess there has to be some sort of a system where if you're on the toilet and then there's no toilet paper, you should be able to communicate anonymously with the outside world, that you need a roll of toilet paper, not talking to the person next to you, hey mate, you got a roll in your stall, or you mate, just pass it on, sort of thing. And what if the other person doesn't have toilet paper in their store? Then that just creates a crisis. I'm shocked as to how we haven't acknowledged the toilet paper crisis, especially now, with the fuel crisis and all that. Some people panic buying toilet paper. It's just COVID all over again. And in my view, that's quite stupid, because if you ever need toilet paper, you can always grab a page out the Liberal Party's policy books, or the um, or a publication like the Daily Telegraph, and just use that instead. Any Murdoch press, I'll say, makes for very good toilet paper. That's right, I don't like Murdoch or the Liberal Party for that fact. Well, I'm pretty sure that joke's been overused way too many times. But to be clear, that is a joke, right? I'm not trying to well, maybe I'm trying to ruffle some feathers with some group of people which I guess aren't wholly popular within Australian society. But anyway, um, I guess yeah, when it comes to the whole issue of toilet paper, I still remember COVID. People stockpiling toilet paper. They had to like ration them out. And then like in a couple of years after COVID, things sort of returned back to normal in terms of toilet paper supply. But now it's like I feel like it's gonna ramp up again. And I feel like with with that, I guess obviously panic buying with toilet paper, obviously it's gonna affect public bathrooms and the availability of toilet paper at public train station bathrooms, public bathrooms at like universities, schools, any like institution or private or public facility, really, It's like not having enough soap. I always hate it when you hit like the soap dispenser and there's like nothing coming out of it. Shooting me like a fool. You can clearly see there's something in there, but it won't like get out. Or when you like trying to wash your hands, you press down on the tap, but like nothing comes out. Or when you have like those automatic tap sensors, you put your hands underneath the tap and it's supposed to like pour out water. It never works. And when you take your hands away, suddenly it works. But when you put it back, it doesn't. I'd rather just have like a button, But even in the button method, if it does work, it only like pours out water for like 2 seconds, and then after that, it just stops. I'm like, oh, what's the point? 2 seconds of water. I can't even like scrub my hands without having to constantly push down on that button. How hard is it just to have like a tap, right? Or just a tap with like a regular faucet, you just turn it on, wash your hands, and turn it off. How hard is that? All right, I don't know why they won't implement that, like at more, I guess, modern facilities. Maybe it's to save water or whatever. But like, I'm wasting my time trying to get this tap to activate. Imagine people 100 years ago seeing humans now, trying to use a tap, but they can't because it's got that like sensor shit in it, and it's just like, come on. Shit with no pun intended, obviously. But, I feel like we're going a little bit backwards in bathroom technology. Like, it's just stupid, I reckon. Or when you have, like, those sinks, right, where they're trying to be, like, cutting edge, by, like, it's, like, designed in a specific way to be, like, almost flat, but it's got, like, a mini curve so water can flow down. But, however, that curve is a little bit too, I guess... It's like, it's not gradual enough, and most of the water just spills over the sink anyway. I'm like, can't you just put in a regular sink basin? Why are you gonna be all fancy with like this marble crap and trying to make it look aesthetic when it can't really do an effective job, So yeah, that's just my bathroom antics. But yeah, for the most part, I'm fortunate enough that whenever I go out, I have a, I guess, secondhand knowledge to always check the toilet rolls, but I guess you won't always have that, I guess, luxury. Sometimes you gotta go when you gotta go, and you might be in that trap where you go like, oh crap, I don't have any toilet paper. In that instance, I feel like, there has to be like some sort of system, rule, code, or whatever. It could even be like you just press a button, that's in the store, and like an attendee will just like, I don't know, like toss a roll underneath the stall or whatever. Or maybe like what you can do, right, is maybe just knock on the store next to you. And if you give like 2 knocks like that, that means, oh, the store next to me has no toilet paper. If I have a roll, I'll give it to it or give it to them, sort of thing. So I think that should be like a common code, Like if you run out of toilet paper, you just knock to the store next to you, and if there's someone in that store, they should, give you a roll of toilet paper. I think that should be like a common courtesy. It doesn't have to be specifically that knocking system. It could just be anything, the whole app thing I mentioned was kind of a joke, but maybe it should be like electronic app or whatever that like you can track toilets which have toilet paper or not. You can see like the supply levels. Like, it would just be such a great idea, and, obviously, or either that, or you can just have, like, someone who checks it on the bathrooms, like, every hour or regularly, and just, like, check the toilet paper levels. Or why not just put more toilet paper? You know what? That would be the ultimate solution. Just put, like, 5 rolls inside a machine and just check them, like, every single day. Or like every single couple so hours. Like, it wouldn't be too hard to like just to, I don't know, buy some more toilet rolls, put them inside the machine, or design a machine where it can handle more toilet rolls, or a dispenser. Sorry, I don't know why I call it a machine. I'm being a little bit too fancy here. Um, but like they always seem to be stingy, even though that toilet paper is going to be replaced anyway. And if you just do it all in one go, that'll be like more cost efficient, and time saving than just doing it each individual time. So um, yeah. But I like to imagine that we'll somehow someday live in a world where we never have to worry about toilet paper. Whenever it's we us going to, like, I don't know, a public restroom and there's none, or whenever like panic buying kicks in and everyone starts taking out the toilet paper, because toilet paper is like, it's important, but it's such like such a burden and an inconvenience when people just start like making it, I guess, like when people start panic buying it, or when they're simply not putting enough in the, I guess, bathroom stores. I feel like with toilet paper, like, oh, obviously everyone needs it, but we seem to like quite like, it just seems, the way that toilet paper is implemented within a society just seems so inefficient. It just seems like such a burden, from panic buying to, the way that we only put like one toilet roll in at a time in the dispenser. It's just utterly atrocious. We should, just have some toilet paper reform in this country. Back when we were a proper country with proper toilet rolls, I mean, they used to give you at least a couple of toilet rolls in the store, but now they give you nothing, sort of thing. Um, this just sounds really weird, but it's one of those nights. You could just talk about toilet paper all day long. But yeah, I guess to end this video off, obviously, I guess we've all been there at home, out in public, where there's suddenly no toilet paper, and obviously there's no way to get around it, especially when you had a very lengthy, I guess, number two on the loo, and you realize that, oh shit, no pun intended, I'm stuck here. And I guess in that instance, obviously you don't want to like leave the toilet store. I guess, as embarrassing as it may seem, you might have to ask the person next to you, or if you notice someone coming in, or maybe if you just like phone up the company. Like if you have like a department store, just ring them up, say, hey, I'm in the toilet store. Can you just chuck me another roll? I'm in like store number one, please. I think that would be like the last line of defense, just calling up the store themselves. But what if you're like in a park or whatever, like, you know, like a city park, and then you run out of toilet paper, and you're like, all right, I have to phone up the council, got to phone number 2 for inquiry, then number 3, and then press the hash key, and then be on hold for 30 minutes, and then I finally get in touch with my local representative, and they say my office is open between 9 and 5, you called at 5:01, please call back the next day, and then you're stuck, sort of thing. But, I reckon we need to, I guess I should start adopting such courtesy. I believe that if I come across a bathroom store with no toilet paper, I should take the toilet paper from the other store and put it into that store. Or if I run out of toilet paper, um, I guess I should try maybe the knocking method. I don't think it'll be such a wild idea, because if you're in the toilet store, you got nothing to do, and someone in the toilet store next to you might have toilet paper. I guess it might be embarrassing, but hey, man's got to do what he's got to do. You got to ask, hey, so do you have any toilet paper or something? And that way it can be like anonymous. You're not like looking each other in the eye or anything. But I guess always be safe. Always carry a backpack around you, and always carry a roll of toilet paper in your backpack. That's what I should start doing now. You know what? That's what I'm gonna start doing from today. I'm gonna carry a roll of toilet paper in my backpack at all times, because you never know when you might need one. But yeah, I guess before I leave, because I don't want the last thing to talk about in this video is toilet paper. Yeah, I guess my day's been pretty good. I should have maybe said that at the start, but always spice things up. Um, and yeah, I can't believe, wow, 66. I should have been talking about Route 66 for the 66 video, even though I don't know much about Route 66. All I know is it went from Chicago to LA. I don't think Route 66 even exists anymore, if I may be correct. I'm pretty sure it's a historic route, but I don't think it exists in its entirety. I think it got abolished as like a major route or something. I'm not quite sure. I just knew that. I just know that it has like famous historical significance to the United States highway system. Um, but yeah, apart from that, I can't really think of anything else I could have done for my 66 video journal series other than talk about um, the lack of toilet paper. Because I did go to the bathroom today, and I obviously had to take my business, and it got me thinking about that. And it got me thinking about, those times we're at home and I gotta like yell like, Mom, I need a roll of toilet paper. Yeah, hey, I'm walking it. I don't speak in New York or New Jersey accent. It's not very New Jersey. It's more like New Jersey, but it's more like New York. If you get someone from New York to not do it, and as soon as I try to do a New York impression, it doesn't work. All right, um, all right, Crocodile Nate. Jeez, I can't do accents. This isn't an accent video. It's an accent. It's a video about toilet paper. And I'm pretty sure I did an okay New York impression the first bit, but as soon as I tried doing it, it just fell apart. But anyway, that's enough for today. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And now I'm suddenly talking about like John here with. But anyway, please hit the like and subscribe button. I sound a little bit like Homer Simpson. I can't get enough impressions. You know what? I should just make a whole video journal entry of just about like bad celebrity impressions, like me doing bad celebrity impressions. That might be a future video idea. But anyway, yet again, take care, have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Bye. See ya.